I have some exciting news to report, and I want to be sure and explain very thoroughly to you what you're going to be seeing with some reports that are coming home. Our students have been taking the STAR reading test as a benchmark for winter. They take it in the spring, winter, in the fall, the winter, and then again in the spring. And our students have performed very, very well, and I want to let you know where your specific child is performing. You'll get a report home that looks like this. Obviously, I've taken the names off of any of these things and just printed off a blank report so that you can see. If you see these little dots, that's where your child has taken the reading test. There's another one that will come home for math, but we haven't taken the winter benchmark for math yet, so I haven't sent it home yet. But I plan on sending this home next week. So that you can understand this, the child scoring at this bottom line is scoring in the 25th percentile or below. 25th percentile and below gets extra reading help through our RTI system. 50th percentile is about average, that middle line. And then this top line is the 75th percentile line, which means you're scoring above average. And then there's a line that shows the projected growth for your child as they are taking the test. As of right now, this is just a random printout, but you will see if this child was yours, they would score in the 10th percentile here, and then they've gone up, and then way up past the 75th percentile line. So you can see if this is, say, an 80 percentile, then that means that they're scoring, if you took a random selection of students in first grade across the nation, they're scoring better than 80% of them. It doesn't mean they got 80% of their tests right. It means they're scoring better than 80% of students in first grade nationally. So only 20% of students are scoring better than them. That's what percentile means. I'm also going to be sending home a graph that looks a lot like this. If I took this information and plotted it on a graph, you will see sometimes parents want to know, okay, that's great nationally, but what does it look like based on my kid's school? These are my homeroom student scores, just my homeroom, not the entire first grade. At the very beginning of the year, this is our fall testing score. And this is our winter testing score. As you can see, there's a huge gap of information that has been learned since fall and winter. Our fall percentile score, if we average just my homeroom's reading scores together, they scored in the 40th percentile. At winter, they're scoring in the 70th percentile on average. That doesn't mean that's where your child is scoring. That's just if I took all of my kids together and saw an average. That's a big jump, and one of the reasons for that jump is because of you and the hard work that you've been putting in with sight words and fluency. It's made a huge, huge difference, and I want to thank you for that because your kids are growing. As you can see, let me explain how you can read this graph so you can understand. This child is just a random number. If a child scored here at the beginning of the year, their peers within my classroom, there's this many of them scoring below them, and within the classroom, that many are scoring above them. Okay? Now, winter, if they're scoring here at winter, that means within my classroom, there's a longer line of students scoring below them than above. It just kind of gives you an idea of, is my kid scoring kind of mid-range within the class, or what do they look like? Without me breaking confidentiality, I can show you this graph and you can see where your kid kind of ranks within the classroom. And that matters because you need to know their percentages and how they are how much they are learning, how they have grown since the very beginning of the year. So if you have any questions about this is all coming home next week. If you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to call me. But I wanted to just give you a brief overview about this, and I will send home something very similar for math coming up. Have a great weekend.